Today, we talked to Ian and Sue about the concept of interdependence and how to set clear goals and structure in your relationships. So, I kind of want to talk about that idea that if interdependence is ideal, which we posited in this episode, then what's so bad about independence or codependence? Why not just stick with the usuals that we know and love? But I have to say, codependence is honestly, it's a special beast, which I just cannot get into here because this little segment would be an hour long if I delve into codependence. But if you do want me to do a deeper dive into that and why it doesn't result in successful relationships ultimately, you can always hit us up on our website. But for today, I'm going to focus on independence because it's kind of counterintuitive. It's definitely a strength, right? Most of us would say so, especially in the United States and other individualistic societies. But sometimes we need to be willing to see our strengths in a different light, since those strengths are in a different context, mainly that you're in a relationship with another person. And as much as being an independent person is lauded in so many different realms, being overly independent really will impact how the people in your life can show you love or support, and vice versa. It's just harder for highly independent people to meld in a partnership because it usually goes against a deeply ingrained part of that person's identity, that they're self-sufficient, that they can handle their own business, that it's a weakness to ask for help even, things like that. So it can be difficult to convince an independent person that this trait that has probably been praised and helped them be successful in other areas of their life is actually a potential obstacle in a relationship. See, a little counterintuitive. So yes, of course, being able to take care of yourself and handle your obligations is great. Being able to collaborate, to share or relinquish tasks, make decisions jointly, that's all great too in relationships. Because independence often means unilateral, right? But things like marriage or living together, that means co-managing a household or co-parenting children. It means sometimes having to communicate before you take action or to compromise. So there's just not as much room to be so unilateral when you have to take into account another person's needs. And speaking of needs, some of you do need to hear this. Your need to be independent cannot supersede the need of the relationship to be a partnership. If someone asked you who matters more in your relationship, wouldn't it be a little problematic if you or your partner said, me? And I know I say this a lot, but I'm going to say it again. You have to accept that your needs are not more important than your partner's needs. Your feelings are not more important than your partner's feelings, even when you're upset, even when those upset feelings are totally justified. You don't matter more than your partner. And of course, they don't matter more than you. But I got to bring myself back to the topic, a little tangent there. But honestly, I think it does tie into the concept of interdependence. Interdependence is really just a commitment to the partnership. It's an attitude and hopefully action that signals that you're open to relying on each other in ways that make sense for the two of you. And if you can take it a step further and make it tangible, like Ian and Sue did, where you're concretely outlining like a rubric for the relationship, you then have a really great tool to lean on and refer back to when things get tough. And if you think about it, it could also serve as a reminder. You have this written or this explicit plan amongst each other that reminds you that you're, in fact, collaborators, that you're teammates against the issue and not against each other.
That's it for today. To share your thoughts or even be a guest on the show, email us at theunrelatingpodcast@gmail.com.